For some reason or another, I don't know if it's society, if it's the way we're brought up, if it's social media, our parents, we all think we need to have everything figured out.
This thing called planning has been around for a long, long time. There's been a discipline called strategy. People have put those two things together. Unfortunately, those things are not the same.
What you plan? What you gonna do? How you gonna get there?
Uncertain what's next in your life, uncertain how you're gonna put some pieces back together, uncertain how some things are gonna come together.
What can you tell me something you're 100% sure of?
It's uncertainty that made you work a little harder. It's uncertainty that made you run a little faster, jump a little higher. It's uncertainty, regardless if you win or lose.
And I'm like, I don't know. I don't have no plan. How you gonna have a 5-year plan and you don't even know if 5 years are gonna come? 5 years are gonna come. So I just said I don't have a plan.
Do you spend some time thinking about the life that you're trying to build, the life that you're building?
One of the underrated pieces of advice is the fact that you should never plan out your life. Before you guys jump on and start accusing me of being negative, I have my reasons and I'm gonna explain that in a story in a few seconds. But the other reason is that I'm a Christian, and being a Christian means that you gotta always know that God is in charge. He knows the plans He has for you. He's already planned and worked out everything. So it doesn't matter what you do. It doesn't matter how you pressurize yourself. At the end of the day, what's gonna prevail in your life is what God has already planned for you. Trying to change that and overworking yourself, over planning and everything just won't do anything. But when it comes to what happens in the future, that's something that you should not bother yourself with. Just let it worry about itself, live in the present and enjoy the present moment. I was in matric, I was doing grade 12, and as a grade 12 learner, one of the most important things that you must have is plans for the following year. And I didn't have that and I felt okay. But you know that every single year, especially for grade 12, there comes a time whereby you gotta go to career exhibitions, just start analyzing your career choices and everything. That's where now it hit me that, the year is almost over and I gotta make plans on what I wanna study next year. I gotta decide now. I started pressurizing myself in that manner, so I decided to opt for law, which sounds cool basically if you think about it. And knowing parents, they were gonna be proud of me. Imagine having a son who is a lawyer. I applied to study law. The requirements were a certain points that I won't mention. So I set that as my target for the year. I applied for law at different universities because it is advised in South Africa to apply to different universities so that you can have other options in case the university that you like is full, in case you're not accepting more applicants. There's a lot that could transpire, so it's always important to apply to different universities. And so I did that. I applied to 3 different universities, I think. Now there comes a time of having to wait for results. I checked the first university, and mind you, I already have like my life planned out and everything. I know that I'm gonna be in a different city next year. I'm excited. I've already bought stuff. Now comes the time of having to wait for results from the first university. It comes and says declined. Now I'm surprised that how can my application be declined while I've met all the requirements. And then in the email, they continue to say that, unfortunately, we could not accept your application because we received a lot of applications for that particular course. As a result of that, we had to increase the requirements, which was over what I got. They increased it very drastically. The second university, the same thing, declined. All the universities have declined me. I wanted to be a lawyer. Now I don't have a plan. It means I gotta take a gap year and stay home the whole year and think about it, because I either have 2 options here. Either I change courses, I try and apply for another course, but at the end of the day, it's still going to be the following year, right? So either I apply for another course or I go and upgrade my results. And that was not an option that I was willing to take, because it would seem like I didn't do well, although I did, great. So let me just stay home and think about what I'm planning to do. Either I might get a job or let me just spend time to myself and think about it. So I stayed home. I felt like it was a great thing. Imagine spending all those years going to school each and every single day and then having this time to yourself alone while everybody else is at work, the others are at school. So you have this time to yourself alone. And it sounds like a great idea at first. Taking a gap year always sounds like a great idea until like you're deep in the gap year. So the first week passed. It was fun. The second week, That was like the hardest time of my life. Now I'm used to the routine of doing whatever I want since everybody's not here. You get it? I'm used to that routine. So now I'm no longer in that situation. Now it's more complicated. And you must remember that the first choice was being a lawyer. Now, I went to college and I applied for IT. I studied IT. Now, here's where the tricky part is. When I got into IT, it was not that interesting as I thought. And it's not something that I'm willing to do. I felt like, I gotta look for another option. I was researching, and I got into this whole media thing, and I got the interest that, how about I just take photography as a hobby, as a side hobby, so that in the meantime, when I'm not in school, when I'm not anywhere, I can just do photography, take pictures, outside the environment, do landscape shoots and everything. From photography, now I got interested into video editing. Now I got into video editing, started editing videos on my phone. I have a lot of videos that I shot on my phone, that I produced on my phone somewhere in YouTube, but they're just not public. So I started working on my phone, producing on my phone. Before I knew it, we were in church, we were working. Now I'm operating big cameras. I'm getting a lot of experience, and I'm falling more in love with, media as a whole. So look at the timeline. From having no plans to applying to study law, from applying to study law to IT, from IT to media. And now I have a media company. I'm deeply into media. I'm not doing law. I do IT projects here and there. But the point is that you should never plan out your life, because planning will always hurt at the end of the day. You having plans, planning out the future of which you don't have control of, will only steal away the joy that you might have in the present. So live in the present, focus on now, make other plans, but then as of the future and everything, that's one thing that you can never control. So my advice to you is just live life. Don't think about what's going to happen tomorrow. Don't plan too much about tomorrow, because it's only stealing the joy of today. My name is Onalena Imarumola. If you're new here, make sure that you subscribe, click the like button, and comment. I want to hear your stories in the comment section. So let me know your experiences with planning in the comment section. Let me know how you feel about this whole conversation of never planning out your future. Peace.